Okay, well, happy, I was going to say Monday, Tuesday, everyone. I know we usually have our team calls on Mondays, but due to the long weekend, we moved it so you'd all have time to have Thanksgiving dinner with your families. But I am so excited for you all to hear from our guest this evening. So as you can see, it's Micha Hewitt. So we met in Calgary back in May 14th. It was my son's birthday. At our VP retreat in Calgary. Now you can see how beautiful she is. And honestly, we were all like eyeing up her like lilac purple like suit she was wearing, the cutest like crop suit and like pants. She was rocking it. But it's honestly the sweetest heart, and her story just really pulled on my heartstrings. And I've been following her ever since, and asked her to share with you tonight. So Micha is all the way from Newfoundland, so she's a 3.5 hour time difference. So it is very late in her land. So super appreciate your time tonight. She's been has been in Arbonne for 6 years. Next month, she became a regional vice president 3 years ago. And when she started her business, she was a single mom looking to make an extra some extra dollars to get her by each month. Since then, her life has completely changed. When she started her business, she had her son Henry, but now little Henry, I remember hearing him when Micha shared at the VP retreat, but he's now 6 and she has a 1-year-old daughter, Lucy. She got married 2 years ago. She has earned the last 5 incentive trips that Arbonne has put out, which is super incredible. And at the last CNC, she was top 10 in overall growth in all of Canada. So super grateful for her to be here. And I know she's just so passionate about Arbonne, her team, and just loves everything about it. So now we get to hear from her. So take it away.
Amazing. Thank you so much. It's so funny. So that purple suit, just a quick, I was going to touch on that really quickly. I was supposed to train on a Saturday. So I had my whole outfit picked up, and then they asked if I could train on Sunday. And I was like, So I wore the same outfit again, because who cares? Who cares? Okay, Lindsay, thank you so much. So yes, my name is Micha, and I know everyone says Micha. No, don't. Everyone always, it's one of those names. Don't worry about it. So my name is Micha Hewitt, and yes, I'm a regional vice president. I've been doing this for 6 years next month, and I've been an RVP for 3 years. And it still feels like there's so much pride that comes with saying I'm an RVP. And along the way, I have learned so many things. But one of the things that I have learned is that stories have a way of inspiring and being very, very impactful on other people's lives. So although this is my story that I'm going to share with you, along with some tips at the end, it's my story, but it's full of highs and lows. And I think it does touch people because it's real and it's raw, and that you can see that people who do this business come from all walks of life. And it's so important to kind of see that. So obviously, to learn what is typical, visit earnings.arbonne.com. But my story is only the last year that I have recently been able to share my story, that I felt comfortable sharing my story, because at the time, looking back on it, it brought a lot of emotional trauma, and sometimes that's just hard. It's hard going through it. It is hard sharing it, but without it, I wouldn't have learned the power of my why. And in Arbonne, you're going to hear why. Why are you doing Arbonne? And I never really thought of the million miles an hour, and I needed that strong reason to kind of move forward. So as Lindsay said, I have a little boy. In October 2015, he was my why. I gave birth to my why, Henry. At the time, I had no idea what Arbonne was. And for all I knew, I was going to work in that cycle of 40 to 50 hours a week and living somebody else's dream job. And my best friend of 25 years. So Evelyn Dre is a national vice president. So my best friend of 25 years asked me to have a look at this business for 8 months. And for 8 months, I said no. And do you know what her pitch was? Sometimes we get so caught up in how we're going to say it. You know, she said to me, she goes, Micha, you're an idiot if you don't do this. She wasn't even in DM Qual. But that's what she was telling me, right? Because she was listening to other people's stories. And I remember thinking over and over, being like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed for her. Like, does she know? Like, is she in a part of something like a cult? Like, I thought I was better. My ego was so, so big. So I said no over and over and over again. And in October 2016, sorry, I went back to mat leave after having Henry. And I was supposed to return to my full-time engineering oil and gas job. It was a corporate, very high demanding job. So that meant that Henry went to daycare for 9 hours a day. Because, well, that's what we do, right? That's the cycle. That's what we're expected to do. We're expected to go to university or go to college, get a degree, go work 40 to 50 hours a week, and then give our children to somebody else to raise, for us to be in a job that we probably don't love, but that's the cycle of it. So I remember I went back to my job, and I was only 28 years old at the time. And as Lindsay said, you guys, I was a single mom. So I was a single mom raising Henry because I made the decision to leave Henry's father when he was 8 months old because lack of everything. So although I loved being a single mom because no dinner had to be cooked, the house didn't have to be clean, like all of that stuff that I thought had to be done, it just didn't have to be done anymore, right? So although it was amazing to be a single mom, financially it sucked. So financially, I was struggling because I didn't have any financial help whatsoever. So on November 11th, 2016, I signed up as a consultant, having zero idea what I was doing. I signed up because I needed to make an extra $150 a month and for my heat and light, because I just wanted to alleviate a little bit of financial stress. So I said yes because the timing was right for me. But I'm so thankful that Evelyn continued to ask me over and over. So my biggest tip in my story is, you guys, the fortune is in the follow-up. If she hadn't have asked me over and over, she wouldn't have planted that seed. I wouldn't have watched her so closely. You know what I mean? And although I decided because it was my choice and my time, she never let me forget that Arbonne was there as an additional income stream if I needed it. So I reached DM in a couple of months, and I was so excited for life. Keeping in mind that when I signed up as an independent consultant, I didn't have enough money to purchase products. There was no moving around money from bank accounts to bank accounts. I was broke as a joke. I had no money whatsoever. So I knew I had to work harder, right, in order to earn money so I could buy some of the products. So I went DM quickly, and then I fell in love with Arbonne. So as I was running to area, I qualified for area twice, and I didn't get it. It took one stern conversation with Evelyn where she said, Micha, if you sponsored like you sold, you'd be in area. And it kind of hit me really, really hard. And I share it with my team all of the time because, you guys, I was hiding behind the products. I was so uncomfortable with sharing the business because the fear of rejection, which is so wild to think, because I don't give a rat's, I don't know if kids might be up, but I don't care anymore what people think. I really, really don't. But when I coach my team and when I see new consultants come into this team, you know, as someone who has been there, just like Lindsay and like Carly, like we have to bring ourselves back to remember what it's like to be a consultant. And to know that those fears and those hesitations, they are so, so common. But I truly believe that if we're not asking people, we're making this business about us. If you're not asking someone because you're afraid of what they'll say, you're making Arbonne about you. And Arbonne is not about you. Arbonne is about them. So it's our job as consultants to ask and to educate. It's up to them to make the executive decision if they want to do it or not. But no matter what, their decision has nothing to do with us. So you have to remove yourself from the equation. So you guys, what I started doing is I started asking. I listened to trainings on sponsoring because I had a lot of fear around asking about the business. I had a lot of deep-rooted fear of other people's opinions and what they would think of me, right? Because I wasn't seeing that high income yet. I wasn't seeing that. So you know what I did? I became a sponsoring magnet. I went to the source and I listened to every single training that was there. I listened to MVP stories over and over and over again, because as incredible as hearing from network marketers, there's nothing that's going to rock your core as much as hearing a new consultant achieve national vice president. Those are the things that are going to inspire you. And I've never gotten off an Arbonne call feeling less than what I felt when I got on. So in 1 month, I sponsored 3 new consultants. They were current preferred clients. I taught them how to complete their 2,500 building block, and guys, in 2 months we were area. And that's it. So in between district and area, I reconnected with Henry's father, and Henry was about 1.5 at this point. So keeping in mind this whole time he was mine. I fell in love with that perfect family. So we got back together, all seemed fine. We were doing it. I look at it then and I'm like, we were doing it. It sucked when we were doing it. 5 months later, he proposed. 2 months after that, we made the family decision that I was going to quit my engineering oil and gas job, because I was almost at region qual, and I was going to focus all of my energy in there. 1 month after, Henry and I moved out again, because of that lack of everything was coming back again. So I packed up our life for a second time, and Henry and I moved out. This time it was harder because I didn't have a steady income, and he was fighting for custody of Henry. This is where I started to unravel. And this where in my eyes and in my heart that he was taking my 2-year-old. And you guys, this is the first time I think I've ever told my story without crying. So there were a lot of challenges that made not only life difficult, but running your own business that is based on positive mindset and personal accountability, very challenging. Legally, I was advised to get a real job. And I was told repeatedly by lawyers that I wasn't working to my full potential and my income wasn't high enough, so there'd be no financial support. How many times did I hear, Miss Hewitt, it's not going to work. Miss Hewitt, you know what the success rate of these companies. I heard this from lawyers and judges and friends who obviously are not my friends no more. They probably wish they were, but they're not my friends no more. I defended my dream and my goal over and over and over, which, do you know what? It grew my belief. It grew my work ethic. It grew my grit and my determination. And my why had to be larger than your why not. You guys, your why has got to be larger than your why not, because you're going to have a lot of obstacles. I had a lot of obstacles. I had a lot of people wanting to see me fail, but that was just not going to happen. So when you walked into my house, my little tiny home that was mine and Henry's, and I loved so much, but when you walked into that house and when you walk into my home now, there's no question what my goal is. I have sticky notes everywhere. I have vision boards in my bathroom and in my office and in my kitchen where my children have all of their artwork. I have my artwork. I have my goals. I have my dreams. I have my pictures of what I want my life to look like. You know what I mean? Because a lot of distractions are going to happen and we need our vision to be clear. So I surrounded myself with physical words of how I would feel when I became an RVP. I even had a set of Mercedes-Benz keys printed off, put in a really nice frame in my porch so that when I walked in, I seen them every single day. So for 2 years, in between legal battles, multiple courtrooms, parenting agreements, and all of the trauma that comes from a separation and being broke and having your child pulled from your arms, I continued to build, stayed strong, I tuned in, I showed up, and I worked even when I didn't want to. And there were a lot of days that I did not want to work. How many days would you rather go home and get cozy and watch Netflix? Or maybe go out with a friend? You have a goal, but we make decisions because distractions come in. That's why you have got to keep your vision so clear. So I kept my personal life to myself. And as nasty as it got, I never let my team see it. Not because I didn't think they cared, but because I was leading. And we had goals to achieve. And honestly, I've learned to use Arbonne as an outlet. When life became a lot, I tuned in. Because as I said, you will never get off an Arbonne call feeling less than what you got on. Arbonne inspires us to be the best that we can be. And as a result, when we're inspired, we're motivated to work. So I made a promise to myself I would create a life for Henry and I where I didn't need support, where mama got this, and I knew I was going to do it. No one, and I mean no one, not a judge, not a lawyer, could tell me any different. I knew in my bones I was an RVP. And when life became a lot, I built, and I didn't have that vision. I borrowed my nation's belief. I borrowed Camilla Eve's. I borrowed Rebecca's and Evelyn's. And they reminded me daily, you're doing it. I learned to be resilient and built a vision so strong that nothing can shake it. And as much as fear and legal threats and parenting agreements got thrown in my way, I focused on the positive and the good, because where my mind goes, my energy flows, and I tried to live through love. So these are what I call our peaks and valleys. We're all going to have peaks and valleys, right? We're going to have this in our life and in our business. We always will. But that's when you're truly going to learn what you're capable of. And the personal development and the importance of a why will determine your success in this business. I started to live with it, anything is possible, with hard work, clear vision, and a belief attitude. I tuned into everything. I said yes to everything. When Lindsay asked me to speak, I said, yeah, sure. Having no idea what the time difference was, no idea, but I said yes to everything. If it terrified me, I figured the shit out, because that's what we do. We figure stuff out. So say yes to everything. If someone asks you to train, to coach, to tune in, to show up, to be somewhere, be there. Do it no matter what, and then figure it out later. So over time, I really started to develop a massive belief in myself and in the company. And this is when it got really fun. So I learned to become unshakable, not because I didn't feel the pain or the failure or the rejection, but because I always kept my vision clear and pushed through. You're going to fail. I love how people say, no, you're not going to fail. You will fail, and you will try again. And you might fail again, and you will try again, and you will succeed. You're going to learn from your cycle, but you're going to have these along the way. So I was basically never going to look at Henry and say, sorry, babe, it was too hard. You weren't worth it. I learned on my growth to region the importance of embracing and feeling all of life's experience, the good and the challenging. And am I willing to bend, but to never break? I became resilient. My why was always present. This is when my nose starts to tingle. It was always to be present. Time. I always wanted time because I was only given so much of it. I was going to take all of it. So life is full of excuses, and I'm sure you guys have so many excuses too. And I had 100 excuses, but you have one big reason. And I know life can be hard. I know shit can happen. I know the unexpected can happen. But when your ego kicks in and your doubts set in and you wonder, can I do this? Go to your mirror, look yourself in it, say your name, followed by, I'm a regional vice president. Say it over and over and over. Every time I pass a mirror, I swear I have a conversation. I don't need anyone else in my house. I have so many conversations with myself when I pass a mirror. My region speech was written as an area. Write your region speech. If you haven't already, write it. So basically, I've heard in this profession that your why should make you cry. Some people think it, some people don't. I've learned the why is definitely far more important than the how, because it's the whys that determine the strength of our desires and the drive towards our goal. The how will come with hard work and a vision. So Arbonne is a family business in my life, and that's what it's really become, and it's so special. Henry has been on the AIT trips. He sees me reach for goals. He sees me miss goals, but he sees me get back up again. And he sees me pour into my team, and he hears me train from his bedroom. He's proud of me. And when we were in Mexico, it was such a full circle moment. So 2 trips ago, we were at the celebration dinner, and he was on my lap, and my supportive husband, I'll tell you, a lot has happened in the last 6 years. My husband was sitting next to me, and all of the fireworks were going off, and Henry was on my lap, and we were watching the fireworks, and they were so beautiful. And he looked at me and he said, Mama, you did this. He said, this all happened because of you. And I said, yeah, babe, you proud? He said, I'm so proud. And it's your full circle because they're watching. And it made every single fight, every late night, every no, every rejection, every hard ask, every hard conversation, every missed moment, it made it worth it. Every single bit of it. And sometimes we're not always motivated by the life that we can't see, but rather we're fueled by the life that we're living because we don't want to be here anymore. Both can fuel you. So today my life is completely different. As an RVP, soon to be MVP, I have grown in every way. But I'm no longer that scared woman. You know, you become resilient, you become powerful, you become capable and worthy. And that's what Arbonne does. I sometimes kind of feel bad for Arbonne men because women in Arbonne are so empowered. We are so like, we have ourselves up on this pedestal because we know our worth, because we have been taught to know our worth. You know what I mean? So we don't stand for that real shit that we used to stand for anymore. So I have a few tips. I know I have a couple of minutes, but I have a few tips. 3. You guys, when you decide, and you have to decide, when you decide and when you declare, shit is going to happen. It's going to happen. But you do it anyways. It's kind of like, oh, the universe is like, oh, you want more? I'm going to give you more of everything. Here you go. I promise there's going to be times when you don't want to work. You want to go home, you want to sit down, you don't want to tune into the call because you don't think you need to. You feel like you've heard it. Or you just want to go home and do Netflix because you're not going to reach out today because you're going to reach out tomorrow. You're going to do more tomorrow. But you know what, guys? You do it anyways. You go to SoundCloud, you go to the source, you type in someone's name and you listen to an audio. I don't care what it is. You put something on and you listen to something. You push through the crap, the excuses, and you make your why larger than your excuses because the business is worth it. It is so, so worth it. Now, I'm the mom that volunteers for everything. I don't miss pickup. I don't miss drop off. I don't miss concerts. I am there for absolutely everything. And Henry knows that. He knows that because of Arbonne, mom gets to do all this. So show up even when you don't want to. Number 2 is grow your belief. Have faith in this process. Have faith in this, the ups and downs. And know that when you're really down, that's when you keep going. Because when you're down, you have got to go up again. So just get through the lows to go to the highs because it is so worth it. So let me ask you a question, and I want you guys to put it into the chat. Have you ever compared yourself to anyone in Arbonne? Or have you ever wondered, why am I not here? Why am I not at this title that I should be at? I think we've all done that. I've done it. And I used to do it all the time as an area. And when I was area and I didn't achieve it and I quarreled, I didn't achieve it. But I'm here to tell you there is no one more deserving than you. Nobody. It doesn't matter who your sponsor is. It doesn't matter who's on your team. It doesn't matter when you got in. None of it matters. The only person you should ever compare yourself to is yourself. The only reason I think a select few achieve the 3% is their mindset. The difference between building your business is your mindset. Mindset, in my personal opinion, is 90% of this business, while the other 10 is the work, the ask. I mean, we know what to do. We know what to do. There's so many different ways to do it. We use the products. We asked people to have a look at the products. We asked people to have a look at the business. You can do this through any forms of way, right? You can do it through online, in person, Instagram, Facebook. That doesn't matter how you share the business. That's kind of the easy stuff. It's the head junk that gets in the way. And I'm here to tell you, if you do not do affirmations, start doing affirmations because they will change everything to build your belief. 3% of the people And I say 3% because it's the RVPs. And then there's the 1% and the NVPs, right? So maybe it's the 1%. I mean, I'm still learning. I'm still learning all of the time. So the 1%, they have the mindset of the VP while other people are having the mindset of the employee. The VP shows up no matter what. Employees feel like they have the choice and they don't have to show up. But in Arbonne, this is our business. So you have got to be the MVP. So if you put in the work and you put in all of the effort, but if you don't have that mindset, it's really, really hard. And when I say mindset, I ask, is it right? Do you have room? Is there doubt in your mind with Arbonne? Because there's no room for doubt whatsoever in this business. So my third one is, you guys have a clear vision. We're all in this industry because we all recognize the potential of Arbonne. You guys see it daily from Lindsay, from Carly, from other like national vice presidents you guys have, but we always ask ourselves, is this going to work? Can I do this? The answer is yes. Yes, you can absolutely do it. And it will work if you work. But it's not the question that you guys should be asking yourself. Ask yourself, are you willing to do what it takes in order to make it work? Are you willing to do the necessary work to become the person that you need to do to make it work? Are you willing to work on your mindset and do the daily activity every single day to achieve the goal? So Lindsay can show you how to do it. Whether you're an IC, a DM, an AM, or RVP, it's up to you to do the work and to do the personal development. And when you hold yourself accountable for your own business and doing your own work and recognize that your success is 100% up to you, that's liberating. Because nobody else can make this decision for you. You are the one who is in complete control of your success, 100%. And the last one, you guys, is have a clear vision. When I was going RVP, no one, and I mean no one, could tell me that it wasn't going to happen. So I built my belief. When I spoke to my team, I spoke about Maui. I spoke about our car party. I talked about what we were going to wear, what they were going to wear, where we were going to have it. I seen it. I knew it. I knew that it was going to happen. So on your journey, everyone's journey is different, and own yours, embrace yours. But when times are hard, when your ego kicks in, when you have the doubt, pass the mirror, look yourself in the eye, say your name, followed by, I am a regional vice president. And that's it.
Oh my gosh, that was so incredible. And I know if you're looking at the chat, like it is going off the hook, it is off the chain, whatever you want to call it. Honestly, I couldn't write fast enough. I like kept writing stars next to everything. I'm like, yeah, this is good. This is good. I want to touch on it. But one of the things, a lot of the things, but we're fueled by the life that we are currently living. Like most of us are in this business because we want to change our life and the change of the lives of others. And you have given, like through your entire presentation tonight, the number one thing that stuck out to me with every single point you gave and story and tip is that your vision has always been so clear. Even before Arbonne came in, the kind of life you didn't want to have, the kind of life that you were going to give Henry. And just that vision for you in your business, that vision you're painting to your team, that vision you're painting for yourself. It's everywhere you look. And that definitely shows in how you share in the life that you're giving your kids. And just, I'm truly grateful for you for taking the time to share with our teams tonight. I know it's now midnight, but cheering you on to nation. In my eyes, you're already a nation. You live and breathe it, and that vision is already there for you. The title just hasn't caught you yet. You've just run past it. So thank you so much for your time. Go to sleep.
Thank you. I appreciate your time and asking. Like, this fuels me. And I mean, I'm not going to sleep now. This is too exciting, right? But so
Love
thank
it.
you for thinking of me. Thank you for asking. And guys, go get it. It's so worth it. It is so worth it. So go get it.
Love it. I don't know,
For-
Sabrina, did you want to say anything? Or Sabrina, our National Vice President, I don't know if you want to like fill in
I just
anything.
want to say a huge thank you to, I know it's late, but oh my goodness, one, it just shows your commitment and dedication to this business, doing a call at this time for a sideline team for starters. I agree with everything Lindsay said already too, but man, your vision and your mindset would have had been so strong to get through what you went through, but also all those naysayers. Most people would never have made it through that minefield that you were going through. So you should be so damn proud of yourself, girl. And you're an absolute MVP in my eyes too. That call was off the hook. You could just hear the belief and the energy in your voice, right? And so it was just beyond powerful. Thank you so much again for sharing with our nation tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Sabrina. And like, even to touch on that. So like, guys, it doesn't have to come from a butterfly and rainbow place. Sometimes I did this just to prove everyone effing wrong. You know what I mean? It didn't come from, oh, I want to do this because it's my goal. Sometimes it was just say, screw you. I'm going to do it, whether you believe in me or not. And that felt good too. It felt really good to look at your, as you said, Sabrina, like your naysayers, and then be like, oh shit, she did it. She said she was going to do it and she actually did it. Like, all right, I'll step back. Right? So like, it doesn't have to be butterflies and rainbows and magical all the time. Sometimes you see red. Just go for it. But guys, thank you so much for including me into your nation tonight. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right, bye.
Bye.